So I got my demo board going here, and I just wanted to show you a quick example of how handy these thermal imagers are. I've got these 5 relays going. The one on the far left is turned off, but the 4 on the right are on. Now, you could pretend these are coils, the coil-on plugs or fuel injectors, and how quick a thermal imager can scan these to see if they're working or not. A lot of times the car comes in with a misfire. I'll just grab my thermal real quick and just check to see if I got, especially if it's skipping, just see if I got a coil that's not working or an injector. And so when I've got my thermal here, you can see those first 2, 3, 4, they're all on nice and shiny, and I get to the 5th one, nothing. So you could see if this was coil-on plugs or fuel injectors, how quick you could find a dead one. It's just something quick, easy, and fast. It works great for any type of electrical work, finding high resistance in a wire, or doing parasitic draw tests where something's sucking the battery down dead overnight. Just scan the fuse box with the key off. Whatever's lit up, that's your draw. But we'll make some more videos with the thermal imager. I just wish it would have came out a lot earlier, because I use it a lot, and it's one of my first grabs now. I use it for everything, from brakes, bearings, to drivability, electrical, and of course AC and heat. But anyway, I'll get a few more examples of this thermal in action here. So I've got this little homemade demo board that I was going to show you some more examples with the thermal imager. I've got a couple fuel injectors up there. I'm going to fire one off and then show you what it looks like when it lights up. Then my little homemade ignition system over there. The module took a dump, but I got a little speed motor pretending to be my pickup, spun by the little electric motor there that runs that ignition module that fires the coil. But I can still fire that up off my transistor up there, so I can show you what that looks like when it heats up. Thermal imagers, I'm really sold on them. Man, I wish they would have came out sooner, because for drivability work and also electric work, it's just a lifesaver sometimes. On the other side over here, I've got a little Snap-on demo board, and all this little Snap-on demo stuff you can get from your dealer. Especially if you're learning a new tool, it's handy to have, and I just make them throw it in for free when you buy an expensive tool. But this board here has got a little battery that powers up that wire. There's a high resistance in that wire there, so it's like a bad connection or that green goo, corrosion, and trying to find that problem sometimes can be difficult. So if you notice here with my thermal imager, I'm going to go over that spot, and you can see right there, thing stands out like a sore thumb. So I found all kinds of corrosion problems like that using a thermal imager, and even like battery terminals. If you got one that's got a bad battery terminal and it's not got a good connection, you'll see it heat up, and problems like this in wiring, they just show up real quick and easy with a thermal imager, and otherwise you'll be hunting for ghosts sometimes. But so on this fuel injector here, I'm going to let that run for a minute and warm up. And then once it gets hot, I'll show you this injector compared to the other one, and you'll be able to see a lot difference in the heat. Then also I'm running that injector off that big transistor there, and you can see how much heat that thing's putting out. Electronics is just like your engine. Heat is their enemy, and parts fail because they get hot. And so a thermal imager can help you narrow that in. So right here is my first injector. Oops. As you can see, there's nothing on there. On top there's a resistor I got going, but nothing. So when you go over to the live injector, you can see that thing lighting up good. You know that's working. And then that hot thing next to it is the actually transistor that's running it. And then up here, what you were seeing earlier is I've got some resistors running across here, and you can see how they light up really quick. And I got them acting like corrosion in the circuit. But and I hope this video is not too shaky, because I'm trying to run two tools here and hold the camera at the same time. It's sometimes I wish there was an easier way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run the ignition coil for a little bit. So let me unplug that injector and switch the driver over here. And what we'll do now is it'll take a little bit for the coil to heat up, just because it's got it's insulated a lot better. But you can see there, it's running there. Let me turn it up. So you can see I've got that coil firing now. We'll give it a few seconds here to heat up. And then when you're using your thermal imager, man, this is one of my first tools. Especially a car comes in misfire, you got to skip to it. Man, before I grab anything, a lot of times I'll just use the thermal imager, and I'll go over the injectors, and I'll go over the ignition coils, and especially like I'm working on a Ford, you know how they got the world's finest coils. You know, I just hit them with the thermal. 9 times out of 10 on some of them easy slam dunk misfires, that's all you need. You can spot the dead cylinder. And then of course you got the old race car trick where you can shine it at the exhaust manifold and you'll see the dead cylinder as well. We'll give that just a few more minutes here, or not minutes, seconds here. So you can see that thing's firing pretty good. I was thinking about making fuel injector and coil driver like what you see here. See if I couldn't sell it with my Snap-on buddy. And you guys that are techs, is that a tool that you would like to have? Is the ability to drive coils and injectors and just make sure they're good? So we'll grab the thermal here. So I'll go over the coil now. And you can see that coil's nice and warm. So if I was going over an engine, you know, I would expect all my coils that are working fine to look like that. And if you got a dark one or one that's not lighting up, you know, it's dead. It's just a really easy way to test that any tech, even your lube guys, can find problems with this thing. And it's not limited to just drivability and electrical work either, because you know when you let me shut that off. When you are doing bearings or serpentine belt noises, you know, that stuff as well. But anyway, I'd like to do some more stuff with the thermal, especially on some like parasitic draw type testing, and you can see how useful it is. But if you got any questions on the thermal, let me know. I know Snap-on makes like 3 different versions. This one here is their latest one, and it's actually their cheapest one. It's got a light on it and an LED or a laser. But they've got one called the Elite model that's a lot fatter, and it's their top of the line one. I prefer that one the best, but it's of course more money. But I've seen some guys try to use thermal imaging with their phones with these cheap kits, and it just don't work. When it comes to thermal imager, you got money matters. You got to buy one that's got good hardware. And, you know, Snap-on's the only company I know that's got one that's geared towards automotive, that has libraries in them, known good, known bad stuff, and specifically made for the automotive market. So I tend to lean their way on that. And of course, my buddy's a Snap-on dealer, so that helps too. But anywho, got any questions on that? Let me know, and I will get it out on live on the car here one day, and we'll do some more playing around. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And got any questions, leave them in the comments or email me. My email's in the description. And keep at it. Thanks.